I want to thank our sponsor, Spring Made, who create amazing watch straps designed as a tool for people who need it. Their proprietary buckle uses friction instead of holes, which securely grips the strap material, allows for infinite adjustments, and ensures you will get the perfect fit every time. They have a wide range of colours that all look great on their new Nessa buckle, which includes chamfered keeper rings for an upgraded matching look. Head to their website at springmadeshop.com to check out all their classic, deluxe and ribbed straps along with all their other quality products. You can also follow them on Instagram at spring_made_shop. Thank you and enjoy. So Rich, what did you do after your time on the GR4?
Well, the GR4 was dying as well, or certainly at Lossy. It moved and carried on, doing its thing, and actually stepped up and did Syria. And the guys down at Marham did an absolutely fantastic job. So the GR4 had a final flourish, and the guys did it. Hats off to them. And I was absolutely delighted actually at the Diamond 9 ship leaving due. I was in a Hawk doing the photography for it, so some photos of me picture bombing in the background with a little Hawk. I'm saying Hawk. I went to 100 squadrons, so for me I was thinking it's either time to go in the Air Force or stay, and I decided to do my exams to become an airline pilot. And then I was about to leave at the end of the GR, and then I thought I'd have one more roll of the dice, and joined 100 Squadron, which was absolutely fantastic, and I'm so glad I did it. I arrived and it was like a breath of fresh air. The boss and the leadership was just outstanding, and absolutely reinvigorated myself into the Air Force. And sometimes I miss it, and it was just a fantastic squadron. 100, it had a nickname, and we hated it from the 90s, the Tatty Ton.
Oh, the Tatty Ton.
But
yes.
We were really, we'd like to think of ourselves really professional. We were only in a Hawk, which was that was the negative thing about the job that you had to say. But we'd go out and we'd do targeting for the Typhoon as a normal sort of day job. So dare I say, it's a lot more cheaper for a Typhoon to have a bit of metal in the sky to pick up on the radar to target and shoot as a Hawk than another Typhoon.
Yes.
But it comes with limitations of speed, so the Hawk was still 9G, but it couldn't present a target at doing 1.5 Mach. That's the negative. But the costing of it, and I was talking to a Air Commodore a couple of weeks ago, and he said actually the Hawk was something like £600 an hour to fly.
Wow.
So the costing was immense of what we did, but we do that as a day job. Loads of air combat. I mean, air combat at the yin yang, because we used to train each other to get up and get out there. Helo fill was amazing as well, do all that, and then close air support. And actually I quite enjoyed the close air support on the Little Hawk, because you could have more interaction with the JTAC. So on the Tornado, you would get you call it a 9 line. So each line has a specific thing in it. So let's say line 4 thinks the coordinates. Probably got that wrong, but you have to put that in. Line 5, the elevation, stuff like that, and you go through all the entire thing. And on the GR4, you'd receive your 9 line, and then you just plug it in to your weapon system, load it into the bomb, make sure that bomb's good and fully loaded, and make sure your delivery is in parameters, because people could play your tapes, and you're making sure you're all that. In the Hawk, you've got none of that. So where you spend your time is, instead of just receiving it and putting it into the kit, you receive it, and then you can have a bit more of a discussion going, are you sure you've got the right weapons target matching here? What about the line of attack, the LOA? Or what about a different one bomb or two, and you could just increase the knowledge of the JTAC like that. So that was a job. I remember a sortie down in, sorry, this is just close air support, so probably really dull.
No.
But this guy was just from 22 SAS, was just about to deploy. He was like on the phone like, "Sir, I'm fully qualified, I just want some contested airspace, CAS." So I flew down to Hereford, and I think I checked in my little Hawk as like a 4-ship of F-15s, you know, with Texas accents. And then they committed and went against some flankers that were attacking from the south, you know.
Wow.
And then one of them got shot down, so all the time he's trying to read me these coordinates to bomb, I'm like, shut up, you know, like, and then I got him organising the stack to do a helicopter emergency evac of the down pilot, so all of a sudden he's writing stuff like that. And then I was running out of fuel, and then I finally said, yeah, you know, I'll drop a bomb for you, and I was now like a 4-ship of Harrier or something, and I came in and it was like a loft attack, and I just lofted up out of fuel, nowhere to go, and then he was like, stop. I was like, oh my god, you know, why do you want me to stop? He's like, sir, I can only see one of you. And I'm like, oh my god, for the last hour it's only been me, you know, on the radio with all these voices. He's like, can you go again? I was like, no, I've got to go for a cup of tea. Like, I am done.
You're done.
Yeah, things like that you remember.
Absolutely. And did you only work with the RAF, or would you work with all the NATO?
Yeah. So we were one group, so how the groups are set up in the Air Force, so we were on 100. We were the same groups as the Typhoon, GR4 and F-35, so these requests would come in for a one group asset to go somewhere and support something. And obviously the GR4s were just so busy, you know, at the end they were just working so hard. The Typhoon was still in growth and also, you know, out in theatre and doing their bigger exercises, let's say, that are bought and paid for, take a load of engineering support, let's say your red flags. And yeah, and we'd get the little ones, you know, out and about, which was hilarious. You know, the Typhoons would rock up with 2 aircraft, half the squadron of engineers and like bucket loads of spares just arriving constantly. We'd arrive in a Hawk. The engineers would bring one lorry, and it would be the steps. You can't see any now, but the big like safety steps so you don't fall over. But like maybe a couple of wheels. That would be about it. Then we'd do like every sortie going for like 2 weeks, and then fly home. And,
wow.
Yeah, it was such a good little aircraft.
Absolutely. Did you fly every day on 100 Squadron?
Yeah.
Wow.
Generally twice, so it's a two event day. Yeah, it's good.
It's
busy. Yeah. So you asked me about my hours on F3, so I got 500 GR as well, and 2,000, something like that on the Hawk.
Wow.
So it's good.
That's impressive.
Yeah, it's good.
Rich, do you have any DACT stories from your time on the Hawk?
Yeah, we did a load all around Europe, so I fought quite a lot in the Little Hawk. We did quite a lot in Eastern Europe with Hungary and the Czech Republic, and that's where I first saw one of these aircraft. They call it the ALCA, Advanced Light Combat Aircraft. So I did a bit of DACT. The Czechs wanted some 2v2 DACT with the Gripens, and that's a great little jet to fly, and that's really interesting because obviously it's fly-by-wire, so with the tanks it's limited on its G, and obviously if it ever got into dogfight it would jettison the tanks, but with the Hawk you merge, you don't have tanks, and you can give it a good fight. And first time you fight a Gripen you think, yeah, I'm winning, you know, I'm getting this. And instead of taking that, you know, snapshot, commit everything you've got to taking those angles for that one chance of the fight, you sort of refine your BFM to more lag kind of position, so you just cash in those angles more slowly to get into that ideal, you know, killing point round the back, the control zone. And you're just, you know, you go, yeah, I'm winning, I can work to his control zone and do some control zone BFM. And then just as every time we're against Gripen, you're just getting into that control zone after not shooting him when you had an opportunity, and then his tank's empty, and then he's full up again, and then all of a sudden he just comes up at you, and you're like, I wish I'd taken those shots every time.
Yeah. Which was more difficult to fight in the Hawk, the Typhoon or the Gripen?
The Typhoon is a bit of a beast. I think with the Hawk, it's still manoeuvrable, but we did a load of BFM and ACT. So ACT is 2v1 or 2v2. So 1v1, all the Typhoon had to do was put its lift vector on and pull, and there was zero thought. When it became more elemental, like so either a 1v2 or a 2v1, so there's another aircraft to think about in the mix, that's when, dare I say it, we had an advantage, because we wouldn't be so brutal with the G. We could just take that look around, get the full picture visually of what's going on, and we did quite a lot of it as well, so you'd just feel what was going on as well, and you'd have more SA, and you'd try and break down the Typhoon's SA, which with its brutal G onset, you just knew the pilot was just straining against his neck, and then hopefully give him more and more problems.
So overall, do you enjoy your time on a Hunter Squadron flying the Hawk?
Yeah, best job ever. Yeah, it was good. But the people who make it, you know, it was just a really, really good bunch. Brilliant pilots, you know. I arrived and the boss was just superb, you know, just one of those guys that you'd follow anywhere, and there was like 3-4 bosses in my time, because I actually hung around like a bad smell. I actually did 5 years, because I was meant to do 4, and that was me leaving the Air Force. Then I was having so much fun, I gave them another year for free. So I did 5, and I think I did 3 or 4 bosses, and each one of them was brilliant, you know. And it's the boss that makes the squadron, and it was good.